Welcome back to Copperhead Customs. Today we're back on this, our 1948 Hot Wheels Legends Tour $2,000 budget build. And today we've got some special things happening. So I think you may want to stick around. So yes, welcome back, and as stated, this is our 1948 Bedford that we are attempting to build for under $2,000 Australian and enter it into next year's Hot Wheels Legends Tour. And for the newbies, we'll do a really quick recap. This started out in the paddock in the middle of New South Wales, where it had sat for many years, and the farmers' kids used it for bullet practice. Hence all the bullet holes we left all through it. And in the last 8 or 9 weeks, we've gone hard on this car and done a ton of work. Starting off with a haircut. That's right, we gave it a 6-inch roof chop. Then we painted the patina with pearlescent clear coat. 3 different pearls, 3 different colour changes, and it is jaw-droppingly good. The next step was we removed the cab from its original chassis and we put it on this one, which is a WB panel van chassis. And that is a Holden. Because we wanted it to be stubby, hence its nickname Stubby Ben, we chopped 2 foot out of the middle, 8 inches off the back, and 8 inches off the front. Back to the front! We then made this wooden tray out of an old pallet and put our logo in it. How good does it look? We put some big beefy Torque Twister 2 tyres on, some truck mud guards. We continued that wooden theme by making the same pallet wood onto the floor. We then used office chairs for seats and bamboo fence for the parcel tray, and then we made these door cards and roof lining out of old advertisement signs we printed off the computer. And then we made a shifter out of a shovel. We then clear coated the front guards and added a little bit of pearlescent into them as well, and got a bandolero as a hood ornament.
There are 2 kinds of spurs, my friend. Those that come in by the door, those that come in by the window.
And in the last episode we made these gorgeous running boards that morph up into the side of the tray and also have our logo embossed in them. But what are we doing today? What's that? What are we doing today? Well, I'm glad you asked. Today we have a heap of stuff on the go. Yes, that's right. Today we are doing a heap of odd jobs. We've got a heap of loose ends we need to tidy up. And then I have something special for you guys. I've bought something for this build, kind of. It's for this build, but it's not part of this build. And it is going to leave you speechless. But for that, you're going to have to stick around a wee bit longer. But what are we doing first? Well, if you've noticed, the rear light board is not on the truck because we have had some subscribers mention last week that I should French in those tail lights, and I took your advice and I've put a post on Facebook, the Faces of the Books, in the local page, to see if anyone had a router that I could either borrow or wouldn't mind coming and routing and Frenching in the taillight. So today we had a very kind gentleman come around. I'll put some links to his social media accounts down in the descriptions. He restores old antique guitars, etc. And he come around with his router and routed in the tail lights. Now I've just got to finish trimming them up because he had to go, so we've just got to trim the edges, sand, neaten the edges. We did have a few issues with the headboard and I'll show you why now. Okay, so here is our tailboard, not headboard, get it right. So we'll start on this end. As you can see, we are very close to the edges for one, but if you look at this edge, remembering this piece of wood was an original piece of wood from the truck. So this is a potentially 200+ year old piece of wood. And as you can see on the edge here, it is slightly dry rotted. So if we look in here, you can see this is dry rotted. The router didn't even get into there. So, and then on the bottom here, we have some rotting and stuff as well. So we could only drop down approximately 11-12 mil, so approximately half an inch. Our light is a little bit bigger, it's more about the 16 mil, so we couldn't go down as deep as we would have liked. Now as it is, this piece here, if you can see the flex there, I'm going to have to epoxy that in there. I'm going to have to put some epoxy in there to hold that a bit stronger. So we couldn't get it all the way in as deep as we wanted, but this side here I have just hit with the chisel, etc., and that's in. So that's what we've put it in. That's how much it's sticking up. I'm hoping you are looking at that, but if we're looking there, that's how it will be. Now which way we should run the lights, I'm not sure. I've just actually thrown that in willy-nilly. I did have them the other way. Someone suggested I put them that way. I'll have a look at that before we finish of which way we want them, but that's pretty much it. We'll go through and re-varnish this, and I think that looks pretty trick there, so bear with us. I'll just give the other side. I'm just using a bit of sandpaper, a bit of the chisel, a few different things. I may have to get the die grinder on this other little corner here. He did not want to hit this with the router anymore in case we lost this piece because it's only just holding on. So I've got to gently get that little corner out, and then we'll see what it looks like. Rooney. So there we go, we've got them in. We've just given it a coat. Now we can't mount it yet, as we might have seen I put some epoxy glue in that little piece that's fracturing, so hopefully that will set up. The glue was pretty much off, so hopefully that sets up. So we gave it a quick coat. We actually used the chisel and the die grinder to get them in, and as you can see they're just sitting up. Then we've actually screwed them. So what we've done is because they're so tight, we couldn't really run the backing plates. The only option was to cut a hole completely through this and then router the back bigger than this. And look how thin we are. Like, we are very thin, and I was just concerned, so was the other bloke was concerned about this bit breaking, and it's no good. So this is how we've done it. So they Frenched in, but they're not flush, but they're actually in, and I think they look pretty trick. I actually think they look pretty cool now. And I've actually flipped them, I think I flipped them anyway. We've got them running this way at the moment. So we've just screwed them into the wood. Now, the wood's basically 1 inch thick. We're about 12 mil in, so we're halfway through. So they've got 12 mil of hardwood, so they're not going anywhere. All well and good. Tomorrow that will be set up, and we will put that on the truck. We can call it a truck because that's what it is. I've actually come up with some mirrors. I've got a couple of choices on mirrors. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to go for, but I have found something that I think may look pretty cool, and they kind of match the rear guard, so we have to stay tuned for that if I decide to get them. So that's something else to look out for. Now, that's not all we're doing, of course. What we're going to do in this episode is we're going to get rid of all these little odd jobs that I haven't quite finished. So I think we'll get some more motor components on. I think we might look at getting the extractors made. So we've got the extractors, we've got to weld a flange on, and then we'll make the exhaust, and we'll get them painted. We've got some high temp black paint, so we might look at that. We've got to do our inlet manifold. We've got to paint it either black or gold. I haven't quite decided. We've got to paint our alternator. We can get that on. Now what I've also gone and picked up is I've picked up a Gilmer belt drive, because if we have a look in here, we can't run a fan with the radiator, so we're going to have the fan deleted. So I've gone and bought a Gilmer belt drive, so we'll look at at mounting that in. Now it is, unfortunately, it is it billet aluminium, chromey looking one. So I don't know if we might maybe paint the faces like, or potentially I suppose I could powder coat it. Powder coat it. I don't know if you could or not. It might mess with the belt in the teeth. So we may just put a bit of satin black on the faces. We'll see, because we're not really running in the chrome accessory department.
That's not my department.
So we've got that to do. So we'll get that, we'll get the alternator on. So we'll try to get a lot of that motor tizzied up. We'll finish making our black leads. As you can see, I'm trying really hard to not show you something that's over my shoulder. So hopefully I haven't let it slip. We've got all our front end components, but we'll see how we go with that. Probably won't be this episode, I think. Yeah, so we'll try to get all that motor stuff sorted. We'll get this tailboard sorted. And there's some other jobs. They're in here. I just got to find them and pull them back out. Okay, so yeah, there's a few other things we need to do. If we do have time, we may look at the front suspension. I know you're all hanging for me to do that, but I want to do a proper job. I want to paint all the control arms. They've all got new bushes, new ball joints, all of that good stuff has to happen. So it's a bit of a job. Then we can lower it though and go ooh, and see what it looks like. So that will be one to look out for. So hey, and for the new blokes or blokettes, this isn't our first rodeo.
Head down, he's wanting to get his head up, he's going to take him anyway.
Just so you know, we do have a bit going on. So any rate, we also have to look at, give me some feedback. So we need to put in a battery somewhere. Now at the moment we don't have anywhere for it. Originally they come under the driver's floor, so that isn't going to happen. I was kind of looking at putting it maybe here, doing a box either side, but I really like the look of this left alone. Those little corner pieces of wood, I think they just look, this looks really, really nice. So I don't really want to put a box there now if I can avoid it. So I was kind of thinking maybe a box or a little box either side, or one box through here maybe. Our only other option is, which I don't really want to do, is make a trapdoor in here and have, or on this side, because this is the fuel tank under here, is have a trapdoor here with the battery in. Another option, I suppose, is to have it tucked in under here, have a little frame at the back in here that you access from underneath. We're going to have to access this battery a bit because we are forever having flat batteries here because the cars don't get driven enough because there's so many, and every time you go to start a car it has a flat battery. So we're going to have to be able to get to the battery for jump packs or jumper leads. So we need to start thinking about what we're going to do for that. I'm kind of maybe thinking about a box up there. We'll see. So if you've got any ideas, put them down there and let me know your ideas. So at any rate, with that said, it is Saturday night and I'm feeling all right. Saturday night's all right, enough of that. So Saturday night and we are going to go inside and we will see you tomorrow. Oakley dokley, so we are back and there it is. So we've actually got them tail lights running the other way and it actually looks quite nice, I think. It just makes them just look a bit neater. So as you can see, they're just sticking out. But overall, I think that looks pretty groovy. I think that looks a lot nicer. Just a bit more, what's the word? Refined, I suppose, maybe. Yeah, so I quite like that. So for those of you who suggested that, I will thank you because, yes, I reckon that looks good. And someone else actually said to put the lights that way as they look a bit like a snake, he reckons. So anyway, we've put them that way. Yeah, that's how we've got them. And I actually think the tailboard looks quite neat now. So, yes, I'm actually happy that we did do that for a quite easy job. Now, something else I picked up the other day as well was our brake booster, master cylinder and proportioning valve. So we've got all that we have to make brackets for. I have to go through all of my pedals and see what pedals I've got, whether I need to pick up a couple of pedals or not. And if I've got the pedals, we can probably start looking at that eventually, mounting our pedals, then mounting the booster and the master, putting our proportioning valve, which these two lines here go into the master cylinder, and then we run out of the proportioning valve two, as you can see, the 3 pieces there, 2 go one each side of the front and 1 heads to the back. We'll have to work out which ones are which. And we have ordered all of it. Well, I've still got a bundle up there anyway, but we've got 3 cars, so we've ordered another 2 rolls of brake line. I think it was $15 or something for a set. I think it comes with metric fittings. We may have to, we'll see what we've got. We may need to buy a couple of Imperial fittings for that. I think it's 3/8, don't quote me, line, and but the threads on the fittings are M10 for the Japanese modern style cars, and we're running, I'm pretty sure 7/16 fittings, don't quote me. So anyway, what we're doing now is, as you can see, I'm still trying to not show you something that is in the way, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, but we just pulled our alternator, so we're just going to give this a wire brush up, get it prepared. Now we need to paint this all up. I think we need to take this off, and we need to go get our Gilmer belt. I'll go get that out of the other car, it's still in the little Suzuki. Our belt drive, and we need to put our belt drive pulley on here as well. So we'll clean all this and get that prepared, and we will find the bracket. It's over there, and we'll get that ready and prepared. Anyway, enough talk, more action. Oakley dokley, there's our alternator done. All looking nice and black with our, I hummed and hard about painting the fins gold. I just did them black in the end. And we've put our Gilmer belt drive pulley on, and that's all done up. Well, it's not a Gilmer, it's called an ET Performance, made in Australia. Boom. So, the alternator's all ready to go. Our 2 brackets are up here drying, so we'll mount that in the morning. This is our belt here, I'm pretty sure, and this was just one that got thrown in with it, so I don't know, that might be good for our other car or something. I'm not actually sure if our other Gilmer is going to work on that one, but anyway, we may have to get this one. So here's our other 2 pieces. So we're going to need a couple of bolts for where the fan goes. We're going to have to pull the fan off and get some shorter bolts for that. I don't know if I'll have any, but we'll do that tomorrow. And we will, I think our next one will be our inlet manifold. We'll attempt first. We'll get that off and cleaned in the morning, and we'll get some paint on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to go gold or black. Maybe we'll just go black. It'll be heaps quicker and easier if we go black. And then we'll grab our extractors that we purchased, and if we come in here, I think they're in here. Are they in here? Are they in here? I think they are on the ground down there. Now, as you can see, we need to put a flange on there, and they have this little port here, so I think we'll chop that off and plate that up, and then we will paint them black in the heat proof paint. And I think we have to get rid of this carby as well. It's got an adapter plate, so I do have a Strongberg that has been rebuilt, whether we'll just probably run a little Strongberg, rebuilt Strongberg. And while we're there, we'll go probably dig out an air cleaner. I've got a chrome air cleaner, and we'll paint that black. I think I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning, Lord Monkey.
Oakley dokley. So we have done a little bit today. Today was elbows and day. So yeah, we've been to physio, get our elbows looked at again and restrapped, etc. So what we have got here is we've got our new bolts, and we've got our Gilmer belt drive bolted on. We've got our alternator and brackets painted. All the bolts were wire brushed and put on, so that looks nice and neat. It looks pretty true, so we're half happy with that. I think we need to order new engine mounts from memory, so I've got to remember to order them. And I think the only bits in the front end, I've ordered this, someone will tell me what that's called, I can't think, pitman arm or I don't know, something anyway. We've ordered that, I think. I don't think I've ordered this one or that one at the back there that goes across. So I think they're the only two components in the whole front suspension bushing arrangement that we haven't ordered. Our upper and lower bushes and ball joints and bump rubbers. I think we got bump rubbers, and we didn't order anything new on the brakes because we got the disc brake front end. Hopefully we're just fingers crossing that they're still good. We have to get, I think I've got to get rubber brake lines. I forgot about them. We're going to make all our new steel lines. We've got our master and our booster and our proportioning valve. We've got all of that. And then the lines. Then at the back, we'll have to look at what we got on the back. We'll probably need one line, and we're probably, I don't know if I've ordered them or not. We're probably going to need some wheel cylinders. I don't know if I've ordered them. Or has he replaced them? We'll have to check. I don't know if I have to order them or they've been done. I think they might have all been done, actually. So at any rate, what we're up to now is this. So this is the original exhaust and inlet manifold. So we've got to break this down. We're not using this carby. This carby had LP gas hooked up onto it, so we've got to remove the carby, but we're going to want this spring. I honestly think we can take this bracket and probably reuse this cable. We're going to want this inlet manifold, and then we want to paint this up, and we're going to need this base plate still, so I think we might paint the base plate and that, depending on if we do it all black or if we do this. If we do this gold, we'll do that black, and we'll do that black probably. So we need to tear all that apart. Yeah, like I said, I think we can use that throttle cable, because what we will do is we can probably strip the end back and loop it back on itself and just feed it through our accelerator here, is what I'm thinking. It does that. So I don't know, we'll have a think about that. Maybe we can just have it pulled through there. We'll work that out. We might need another bracket to hold the cable, and then it will pull off of that, maybe? Don't know. We will see. We'll work that out, but we may be able to scab and use that accelerator cable. Anyway, there's enough dribble about that. What I'm saying is, we've got this done, and we now have to tear this apart, and we can paint up the inlet manifold, and then we can also get, very close, get the other extractors out, and we can work on them. Okay? Okay. Okay, well, we have run into a snag. Yes, we got stooged, ladies and gentlemen. We got stooged. That's what happens when you don't take notice. So we went on to the Book of the Faces a few months back and bought a set of extractors and didn't think much. They were for a 202 blue motor, apparently, and we just looked at the flange quickly. Yes, straight away my brain went, there's the ones, picked them up, threw them in the back of the shed, as we all know, because you've seen them. Well, here they are on the ground. And when I went to put the manifold up to them, well, they don't work, because the manifold has to go in here, in those gaps. And because of these two pipes especially, come out. Now, what they're meant to do is go in really tight, and they go underneath the manifold, hence the original system See, they're in tight, those inside ones. The manifold comes across here. So these are no good. So what these are for a 202 fuel injected motor. So these are for a 202 black motor with fuel injection, because the fuel injection pots come out and then they actually turn up, the manifold does. So that's what they are for. So we got stooge. They're for a black fuel injected motor, not a blue carby motor. So we have hit a snag.
Is that how can you call yourself an Aussie if you don't like a Bunnings snag?
I just don't. I don't like the taste.
Not a sausage, but a snag. Yes, we have. So the choices are we can use this ugly looking stupid thing that has valves and all sorts of bolts into the manifold to heat. I think that's to heat up the fuel, and we've got twin ports at the bottom and all this. The other option is we could chop this up and change it all. I am a pipe person, remember, but I don't want to do that. So we can't finish that job. I've got to find a set on the book of faces, on the market of places, and see if I can find another set. I did have a quick look at a set. They're a bit expensive, but I'll make him an offer and see. We'll try to get them for a similar price to what we paid for those ones. But we have done our inlet manifold, tore it all down, cleaned it up. Now we're just going to use that one for now, but we've got the manifold looking nice. Now this is sort of set up for a bigger carby than what we're going to put on, but we've got that base plate which is there drying. So as you see that, you like that camera work? I didn't show you, did I? So yes, we did that, and we also went and cut all our lead ends off and redid all our new black leads with the proper ends on. So they were a set of leads I just had spare. I think they were for a 202, but probably a red motor. So anyway, we had to cut all the ends up and put the different ends on. So they're all done now. We've got nice black leads. I think that looks kind of probably as neat as we can get it. I'm not really happy with the way the leads are run, but I don't really know what to do to make them look neat in this. Once we've got all our timing dialed in and everything, we may look at maybe shortening a couple of these, you know, maybe, we'll see. So at any rate, we've hit a standstill on the motor. So we've got our manifold there. We'll probably go and dig out that carby. We'll have a look at that later and have a look at our brackets and springs and malarkey for our carby, but we'll do that later. Now what I do have though is, do you want to know what I bought yet? I don't know if I should tell you yet. First, we'll go look at this. So, we've got these lights. Let's grab these. This is what the boss bought me for my birthday. So we'll come around here and we'll have a look. This is what, now, remember me saying a few weeks back about the bandolero, there was some other parts to the present, and this is what she bought me. So, she bought me these LED headlights with skulls in them as the headlights for this. Now I'm not sure if we'll have to have a look if the indicators are in them or not, but I've bought some indicators at any rate. So they're going to be our headlights, okay, but they are 7-inch headlights, and our buckets are basically 8.5 inches, and so we only have one of these and no glasses. Okay, so this was the thing, we only had one outer trim, one inner trim, and no glass. Now I can buy a glass, I'm pretty sure, from the hot rod shop. They're about $80-100 I think, but we've got no more other trim, no more inners. I don't know, I don't think there's anything up the top either. So if we look on our other nose cone around here, see, no trims or anything on that one's either. So this is what I have come up with. As you know, we are all about repurposing and doing silly things. So these here are dog bowls. Yes. Now that's just some rubber on the bottom for no skidding for the dog. So what I'm planning on doing is, we've done some measuring. So what I did is I went out this morning looking at different stainless bowls of what would work. So basically the outside, what we're going to do is we're going to can see that little, that's basically the lip here of the headlight. So we're going to cut that inner circle out. We're going to get rid of all this rubbish later. Then this will come in from the inside, and we'll actually silicone this in to there, coming through, if that makes sense. So that little lip just there, hopefully you're getting a good view of that little lip. It's about a 5mm little lip. Will be on the inside of that, and we will silicone that to that. So this will be joined to this. Then on this side, what we want to do is we come over to the nose cone of Vichy. So now this here, from there to there, is approximately 8.5 inches, 215mm. So what I'm planning to doing is cutting that bowl down till we get it to slide over here perfectly. We'll probably just put a couple of little tiny little baby screws, little baby tech screw type things through this and into that. So what I'm saying is we'll probably cut, say, where my thumb is, wherever the measurement works out to be. It's going to get ugly here. I'll do a little pirouette. Hey, that's not bad for hiding it. So basically this is going to go on there like that, if any of that is making sense. So this here is going to get cut back to probably about where my thumb is, and then that will sit on there. So there'll be this little fat bit of stainless coming off of these with the light inside. So that is what I am thinking I'm going to attempt. I tried to look for some bowls like our hubcaps, and if these don't work, there is some really big monster bowls that may have worked, but I felt that this would actually work better. And then once we've got it all, we will wire brush the dog bones off, and we'll wire brush this rubber off. There's a spot where I actually picked at it in the shop to make sure, and it is just a little bit of rubber, as you can see there. Okay, so that is what we were going to attempt to do. So that is that. So we might start that. We can't finish that job, but we can probably get the stainless dog bowls cut and prepped to size, and then we might look at sticking the light to them, letting it set up overnight. So that's our plan. So let's attempt that. Oh yes, and I'll fill you in with something else later. Well, some silly bugger forgot to press record. Yes, he did. So you didn't get to see that happen, but there it is. So this is what I've come up with. So I think that, like, honestly, that's from the front, and then it will have our lens in there, and there's the side view, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. And the plan is we'll get some little baby. I've got some little tiny little screws, little tech screws, or even just a grub screw or whatever, you know, a little self-tapper or something. We'll drill some little holes just right on the edge, 2 or 4 or something, and we'll just put some little tiny screws in there. That will hold it, and we'll have, like I've said, the lens over there will be siliconed in to this. So I don't know, I think that looks really cool. So we'll quickly take this one off, and you can see how tight I've got them. I actually thought that I'd stuffed up by getting them too tight. We come over here, and I'll put you guys there like that. Yep. And then I'll grab this, and I'll grab this. We'll go like that. So that's what it's going to look like. I think that's pretty trick. So I'm going to go get a drink, and then I'll come back and we'll do the other one. So how did I do this, you ask, because you didn't see it? Well, we drew the circle out. We cut a rough circle with the angle grinder, and the flap disc was too, this is very thin, see, very, very thin. So the flap disc was too aggressive. So we used the die grinder on it and just slowly worked it till we got it. And then I just guessed how much to cut off. I actually just guessed that, and I probably went a touch too much, but I ended up just stretched the edge. You can probably see it's just stretched a little bit there. You can see that. So I've just stuck it on the edge here and hit it with the hammer and just stretch that edge a little bit to get it to fit. Now that, very close there, sorry, that one is slightly bigger than that one. So if we cut it the same, it should work. And then we just, the black rubber just peeled off, and we just took it into the wire brush on the bench and buzzed all that off really quickly and got rid of our little dog bones. So I think it's turned out a treat. So I'll go have a drink, we'll come back, we'll do the other one, then we'll get them siliconed and set up. Oakley dokley. So you've just seen how I did the headlight ring, and you just seen me silicone them in. So as you've seen, we cut the circle and then slowly just worked it with the die grinder to get us close till it fitted nice and tight. Then we cut the actual dog dish back, took it in, got all the rubber off on the bench grinder, bench wire brush thing, just tickled it up with the air sander on the edges. Now these fit on the buckets. They look, they've turned out better than I thought they would. They look very, very good. And it's another one of those things you wouldn't normally think of, but with your headlights, if you've got damaged buckets, you know, or if you buy you get your old jigger and it doesn't have the nice trims, hey, a set of dog dishes. I honestly think you could probably make the whole headlight, bucket and all, if you were to use a dog dish, you know, salad bowl for the back, for this section, you could probably, and then you could use whatever, a stainless saucepan or whatever it gets you the right measurements, basically. So you could have used a bigger one of them, whatever you want, whatever shape you want. You should be able to do it with just some cheap little stainless steel cooking ware things, and that's stuff that no one normally thinks about, and they just come from the cheap shop, you know, like the $2 shop. I think they were $4 or $5 each, those little dog dishes. We'll put them on tomorrow. So now with that said, we cannot do anything else on them, and I can't even show it to you till tomorrow when that silicone will have set up, which mounts them in there. So I reckon I've let you hang long enough. Let's have a look at what I am going to do. So this is a little Kawasaki. It's been started as a cafe racer. Here's the look they have started, and it's a little 250cc. I'm not sure if it's 2-stroke, 4-stroke, but anyway, I picked this up. I actually swapped it for the OG, would remember the little Triumph, the rat infested Triumph that I hated. Well, I've had it for sale for ages and no one wanted it. Someone offered me this, and for me, as much as you may think that's not a good deal, for me it is a good deal, because my plan is to put this, we'll try to get it all running and riding, but I mainly wanted it just for the prop. We're going to put this on the back of that. So what do you think? What do you think of that idea? So we're going to have this little cafe racer. Now I am contemplating, because it's green, pretty similar green to what that originally was, I am contemplating sanding this back a little bit, showing a bit of patina, and maybe doing our clear coats like we have on the cab, and getting it the same green colour on here. And I was even contemplating doing the wheels gold, and then basically getting it to run. We've got to put our, we've got a box full of parts. There's some pretty dodgy stuff happening with some of it, like the exhaust. The exhaust, well, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to let you guys look at the quality exhaust system. So we might want to look at making a new one of them. Apparently it's all meant to pretty much be there, so we'll see. We're going to be missing a few things, obviously. This mud guard, it's not quite mounted properly. Everything's just sort of, it's missing bolts. The handlebars aren't on properly. But yeah, the idea I'm thinking is maybe we do gold wheels, we do the fender, the tank, maybe these couple of bits on the motor, our patinaed green, make it to match. I don't know, we'll probably maybe leave this open. I don't know, but we got a battery tray to go in there. I don't know if we'll make this open or we'll make a little cover for that. And then we've got our stainless guards, stainless rear guard. Hey, are you sort of seeing what I'm seeing? And what happens is, on a rough measurement, center of pretty much, center of the back wheel there, just past center, is the length of the tray. So pretty much from there back would hang off the back of the tray, but I think that would still look, that would look okay. I don't really want to have straps strapping it. I was thinking maybe we could set up if we have a strap, just a little tiny strap along the wheel there, and maybe on the wheel here, or like a U-bolt or something, bang bang, and we just mount that wheel, have that wheel solid so you can't see any straps. It looks like this. Maybe we'll put a patinaed black stripe on it, or a number on the side of the tank, and we'll patina it, whatever. We've got a bit to do, you know, neaten all this jazz up. Nothing's bolted up. We've got bits in here, but we've got a brand new seat, you know, we've got new shockies, pretty, you know, the rubbers, like it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. And then that will look like, and this will look together like a matching set. It looks tiny, doesn't it? It looks absolutely tiny. Well, it is pretty tiny. You know, I don't really think I'd be too comfy riding it, because, and I don't think it would go very good with me on it. Like, I actually think it will look good on the back of this. I just think it will look really cool. So, now, with that being said, I'm going to throw something else at you. We were talking earlier about a battery box, so that's why I said one either side, maybe. We do a little tiny box either side, and that wheel goes in the middle of them. So that's what I've come up with. Tell me if you think it's a good idea, bad idea. Should we build it for this? Should we build it for the other Bedford? Should we just build it and not put it on any? But my main reason I'm buying it was basically as a prop, and I think that is, I don't know, I think that's a 2-stroke. Someone tell me, is that a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke? It's air cooled, isn't it? It's got to be air cooled, isn't it, or not? It's got me thinking now. I'm thinking that's a little 2-stroke motor. That's what I think. I think that's an air-cooled 2-stroke, probably off of an old ag bike or something, might have been originally. Any rate, enough of that. That's what our idea is. Tell me what you guys think. Good idea, bad idea, indifferent idea, good for this, good for something else. With that said, packing up, going inside. Tomorrow we'll finish off these headlights. Okay, it is the next morning. We've been out this morning, and wonders will not cease to amaze me sometimes. The human race sometimes makes me think they are half okay. So I sent that man a message about those extractors last night. Not expecting much, just basically having a vent saying they're not what they were meant to be. They are for an EFI motor, and unbelievably, he said, bring them back, I'll give you your money back. Money, money, money. I was amazed at that, and so this morning we went and took them back, and so that's very appreciative to you, sir. There's not many people like you left in this world, but so we have taken them back, and tonight we have found another set, pretty much the same price. They're a very good set, and they're basically new. So I'll go buy them tonight, but they will not be in this video. So we've got it outside, and we have done some extra.
Are any of those my size? Extra, 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 extra large.
Here you go, Chief.
So we'll just get there. Here's our lights. I'm actually pretty happy with the way our lights turned out. I think they look pretty good now. Frenched in. Yes. Hopefully you guys are starting to agree with that. Now we come to the side here, and then did you? Ah yeah, we actually, remember I mentioned some mirrors, a couple of different choices of mirrors, and this is one of them, and I ordered them early in the week and they arrived this morning, so I quickly mounted them. Now there's still a bit of the blue plastic we got to pull off from the stainless. Now if you look properly, we're curved, and we have these ribs, and if we look at the rear guards, we have those ribs. Now immediately the guards go in, not out, but I actually seen them and went, they match. And if you look from the side, they're nice height, they're good window height, and they make it look like a truck, but it's miniature. I think they actually start to emphasize my original idea, and like one of my American friends says, it looks like a weightlifting elf. If I could find a picture of that, I'll put it up. So there's our little truck mirrors. Now I come up with them last week. I'd actually ordered another set of mirrors like skeleton hand mirrors, but I think these really suit it. Drop your comments on these mirrors. I actually think they look pretty groovy on there, because the fact that, well, it is a truck, but we've chopped it, we've made it this stubby, tiny little truck, and I thought it deserved tiny little truck mirrors. So I actually think that's pretty good. Now I've got hot rod mirrors on my other one, the little round ones, and they are basically 100% useless. You can't see a thing out of them. So at least with these we'll be able to see what we're doing. Our running boards, everyone agreed this was cool, our transition in. Remembering, we've got this, we need comments on this, and our battery box location, any ideas on that. And so in the motor we've got our alternator on, inlet manifold sitting there, our Gilmer belt drive is on, and our leads are done. Very good. And we've got the bandolero, and then we come back, and what do you think? Now the headlights are, if you stand back, you can see there, this one looks a bit higher there. They're all a bit how you're going, but I don't mind that because that sort of matches the whole truck, that they're not perfectly level or whatever. Now admittedly, this one looks like it's pointing out, this one's pointing down. That can be adjusted later, and it may be that we have to give it some curry, but like I've said, this probably will not be getting driven hardly ever at night. It's mainly just a look. So we have a look side on. So remembering, these are dog bowls, so I think they've turned out pretty well. I think, you tell me what you think. I think they've turned out good. So that was something that we had no idea how to actually get headlights in this. This is what we've come up with. The truck, hey, little stubby Ben is starting to take shape, isn't it? It's really starting to take shape. And we've got our little, maybe, our little matching motorbike here for it. So we come back here, picture it, matching, boom boom, gold wheels, same patinaed paint. Hey, I think that might look cool. So Stubby Ben is taking shape. So we have a lot of parts coming in at the moment. We'll be picking up our new extractors tonight. We've got all our front suspension. We've got our rear shocks. Then we've got some leaf spring shackles. In the front we've got ball joints, upper and lower control arm bushes, pretty much everything to do the front. Tie rod ends, in and out of tie rods. I think bump stop rubbers, sway bar bushings. So we've got all of that to rebuild that, and we can chop our springs. So that's one set of work we've got. We've also got our brake master cylinder booster proportioning valve to look at, and we've also got our steering wheel and pedals to address. In here we've got our fuel tank to mount, and then once those things are done, we are basically at running some lines, doing some electrical, windows, getting pretty close, isn't it? Like I said, drop your comments on what you're thinking of it. And with that said, I'll say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Down the street with your red lips and funky beat, you better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.